Hey folks, how you doing? All right. I wanted to talk about dominion over the cycles of life, actually, and we uh, we are composed of minerals. Okay, and minerals have a cycle, and they have rhythm, etc. And so does the organs of the body and the glands. They have cycles, time cycles. And it would be important for us, the human, to live in harmony with these cycles, get to know them. And there is cycles of life. And the cycle of life has, of course, a beginning and an ending. But it continues on. In other words, the ending marks the re-beginning. Like the ending of a day marks the re-beginning of a day. So the cycle doesn't stop. Okay. But when we talk about, for example, what they might call a hen period, a period of 60 years. So when the hen period comes to end, there is a re-beginning. And there is, at the re-beginning, there is new material inserted. That is, at the end of a hen period, which is a period of 60 years, at the end of the period, new material is inserted. Let's say a month is inserted in the 60-year period. At the end of the 60-year period, a month is inserted. So when the period re-begins, it re-begins with a new month. Okay? Now, if we look at, for example, the human cycle, a human life cycle, the human, okay, at the end of the period, new material is inserted into the cycle of life. So with this new material inserted at the end of the cycle, the new cycle begins with this material that has been inserted at the end of the cycle. Because the beginning, okay, will continue on with the new cycle. And at the end of this new cycle, or second cycle, for example, a new material is inserted again. You see. But the human does the insertion. He's the one who adds this new material. So we can say that, well, the human, during the course of his life, gathers material together. And at the end of this life, this material is inserted into the cycle of life. And when the human begins his next life, well, this new material is there. So he starts off with, or she, the human starts off with new material for each life. You see. So there is what you call a Henti period. Okay. So the Henti period is 2 hen periods. Okay. So the Henti is 120 years. But with this new material, it's like inserting a new month for the Henti period. So the Henti period then implies that, well, it goes on forever. It is not just 120 years. Well, the Henti period, each period, okay, with the hen is another month is inserted. Where do they stop with the months? It goes on forever. So it is telling us that the human being continues to live forever. But the human, at the same time, or during the period of these lives, he creates that material that's going to be inserted at the end of his life cycle, at the end of the cycle, the present cycle. He's going to insert material. But that material is created by the human during the course of the life that he's living at the time. You see? So if he wants to improve on his next life, then what the human does is create material in this life, you can say spiritually, etc., that will be inserted at the end of his life and will be there to re-begin the next life, which begins immediately, according to this doctrine, because at the end of a cycle, the new cycle begins immediately. There's no gap between the end and the re-beginning. So if a human wants to improve, let's say, for his next life, he starts here in this life. He creates the material in this life. Okay. He inserts it during the course of this life, that it will be there when he begins the next life at the end of the period. So in the mythology, they refer to these periods as 60-year periods. A 60-year period is the hen period. And 2 hen periods give us what you call the Henti, where the T means 2. Then we have 2 hen periods, which is 120 years. But with these, with the new, let's say, insertions, it will make it longer. When you go by the mathematics, when you go by the 60-year period, you insert a month at the end of the 60-year period, where you begin with the next period, or with, let's say, an extra month that you had inserted in the 60-year period. You had put it the extra month at the end of the 60-year period. And so you continue doing this, and it goes on forever. Okay, folks, thank you, and subscribe. There's much more to talk about, and I hope it's interesting, and see you next time. Okay, have a good one. Bye.